Hello and welcome to the Suburban Sloth Show. In today's video, we're going to take a look at Facebook's Oculus Rift virtual reality headset, in addition to the Oculus touch controllers, which allow the ability of hand tracking and gesture mimicking. On the offset, this review comes from someone who has had a fair bit of experience with virtual reality headsets, being a proud HTC Vive owner and a somewhat proud PSVR owner as well. So my experience of the Rift is a familiar one and comparable to the Vive. That being said, what is my general feelings towards the Rift and touch controllers? Well, I love them, just not as much as the Vive. Let me get into more detail. Let's start with the headset, the way it looks and the way it feels. The headset design itself is pretty standard and simple. That's not to say it's a bad thing, it looks exactly like you'd think it would if someone said a virtual reality headset. It's gone for more of a minimalist approach, which from a design standpoint, I appreciate. In terms of what's built into the headset, you get headphones built straight into it and have the option to replace them with special 360-degree earbuds, which I did for a little extra cost. This is a godsend in terms of not fumbling around with the headset on, looking for your headphones like I do on the Vive. That being said, an audio strap is coming for the Vive to fix that problem, but it being built in straight into the Rift really aids in it being a convenient headset choice, which I'll get into more later. It has a single cable exiting the headset which splits into a USB and HDMI output into your computer, meaning it is a lot less restrictive in your movements compared to the HTC Vive and the PSVR. How does it feel on your head? Pretty comfortable, to be honest. It has a slightly rough material cushion that rests on your face that is built into the headset and to my knowledge is not interchangeable, unlike the Vive's cushion, which probably won't be great after long periods of use in terms of sweat and all. That being said, the act of getting the headset on and off is so easy, it's almost as good as the PSVR in terms of social play. Let's talk about the specs and the sensors. The Rift comes with a sensor that connects via USB that allows sit-down play. The touch controllers come with an extra sensor that allows 180-degree tracked play, which a lot of games accommodate, which for me, who has a bad back, is a preferred way to play, meaning I don't have to move as much than I do in a room scale on the Vive. You can purchase an extra sensor and place it behind you to replicate full room scale, which I haven't done as I've got my Vive for that. In terms of display, the Rift outputs 1080 by 1200 per eye, which is 2160 by 1080 altogether, the same as the Vive. It also shares the same refresh rate as the Vive, which is 90Hz. Less than the PSVR, but to be honest is not much of a big deal. The FOV, or field of vision, is 110 degrees, again the same as the Vive, and larger than the PSVR, which helps massively for immersion. Let's move on to the controllers. They're heavily designed to fit naturally in your hands and to be intuitive as possible, whilst at the same time being recognisable to gamers with 3 face buttons, including 1 home button, and a joystick on each controller, as well as grip and trigger buttons. The big selling point of the touch controllers over the Vive controllers is their ability to track independent hand gestures, which has huge potential and gameplay opportunities for the future. The controllers are light and comfortable and look so cool with the inbuilt sensor encompassing the player's hand. The one negative could be seen as a decision to have them powered by disposable AA batteries. However, it is only 1 battery per controller and has an incredibly long life cycle, around 20 to 30 hours per battery. Onto the games and the software front. The Oculus store is clean and efficient with reasonable pricing and a slick layout. The warm apartment home environment space in which you occupy is a nice touch. You also have the ability to use Steam VR with the touch controllers. I found this a tad more frustrating with Oculus compared to the Vive in terms of it feeling not as polished in ease of use. You can tell Steam VR was designed around the Vive and the Oculus had to be adapted to it. That's not to say it's bad, it just has some frustrating setup options. You do, however, have the option to open games on Steam in the Oculus store or Steam VR, which is nice since I have so many Vive games that are now compatible on the Rift. Now, with the addition of the touch controllers, the majority of games which were Vive exclusives are now cross-platform, which is incredibly awesome. My favourite of these being Space Pirate Trainer, Arizona Sunshine and Serious Sam VR. The Oculus Rift exclusives are pretty strong, with inclusions like The Unspoken, pretty much the ultimate Doctor Strange simulator. Then there's Super Hot VR, which in my opinion may be the best virtual reality game on sale at the moment. True, you can download some software called Revive on the HTC Vive in order to play the Rift exclusives, but this stream of great titles shows Facebook is putting money behind its exclusives. It's also great if you're a Minecraft fan, as you can immerse yourself even further into the blocky world, thanks to the Rift, which shows Microsoft are siding with the Rift for future development. So what are my overall thoughts on the Rift then, and would I recommend it over its comparable counterparts? Well, I have pretty favourable feelings towards the Rift. I think it's a fine piece of hardware and I do not regret my purchase one bit. Would I own it over the HTC Vive? No, but only because they're so close in terms of experience at the moment, and I can only see the Vive expanding on its ingenuity and innovation, whereas the Oculus feels one step behind at this moment in time. Sure, the controllers are better than the Vive controllers, but they've had an extra year to develop them. We've already seen that the Vive has a ton of cool stuff coming out in the near future in terms of technology add-ons. So my recommendations would be the Vive, but if you do go with the Rift, it is by no means the wrong choice, and is still very much a great piece of kit. Well, there you have it, there's my review of the Oculus Rift and touch controllers. Let me know down in the comments below your thoughts on VR, and which headset you prefer. Also, make sure to subscribe to not miss out on any future VR related content. Maybe give this video a like, and I'll see you on the next Suburban Sloth Show. Cheers.